Hello, every folks, and good morning. Today I want to share the most pointless setup that you could ever do for FFT for a project that I was kind of quietly working on in the background and figured I might as well share. So, if you were curious about whether or not you could actually just start FFT, specifically the PSP version, with Onion Knights, you absolutely can. Now, I will point out that this is a absolutely horrendous idea and you should never do it, but it's just kind of fun that you can. For those unfamiliar with FFT mechanics, basically there is a sort of spillover mechanic, so every time that a unit of a particular class does a particular thing, everybody else is essentially also learning very slowly in the same way. This is typically like going anywhere from, I believe on the low end it's 4, on the high end it's 9. That they're giving to everybody else at the same time that they're doing that particular thing. Which is, you know, a kind of neat little side mechanic, but like, long story short, if you do this kind of setup, there's a funny little quirky thing where the chemist in the intro, and, well, frankly, most of the items in the game, apparently, will have infinite items, specifically just for the item command. Now, the interesting thing here is that, yeah, you can just hit this guy for exactly 30 damage, and he will heal himself for exactly 30 damage. And 95% of the time, this is all you need to do. Bear in mind, I say 95% of the time because he does have a 5% dodge rate, and if that's the case, there's actually still technically a way to keep this going. As you can tell, this kind of went down to the wire because their health is really dang low at this point. And if the AI has the option to take a kill, bear in mind this guy is actually unarmed, so this basically means if somebody's down to almost no health, then he will attempt to go for that every time. The AI is very bloodthirsty in this particular instance. But yeah, like, for example, if he were to, at this point, if any one of those two units were to potentially miss a hit and he didn't hit his healing threshold, basically he would immediately go for an attack, at which point he would see the kill, and then he would gladly sacrifice himself, and then basically this repeatable loop just ends there. But that being said, you can actually sit on these tiles over here. Essentially, you can have her retreat over back into the water, and have the squire block the chemist's movement. At which point, if his health is not full, most of the time, if he's at least lower than half, he will still attempt to heal instead of, for example, attacking her in that particular instance. So yeah, unless he's got a very, very tempting target, he'll usually at least attempt to do so. Or if you accidentally go the other way, and you accidentally crit this guy, and then you're afraid of, you know, missing out on that healing threshold as well, you can just go ahead and use one of the squires for this that has his rush command, which hopefully you started with, because they kind of roll a little bit random. And then if that's the case, you know, like right there, that's what you'll end up seeing. Now, if you're running daggers on these guys, max hit appears to be able to, it appears to be able to roll as high as 27. So one thing I was doing for a little while is having the other chemist use his re-equip command to go unarmed. Just kind of as a bit of a backup plan. But either way, you can set this up a bunch of different ways, and then, yeah, you can start the game with your entire team rocking the worst class in its worst version in the game. What an amazing thing. And yeah, for those that didn't know, we'll just go ahead and do a quick thing. So, for those that don't know, here's the thing with the Onion Knight. It is hands down the worst. Basically, they don't even get experience, not that it really helps them much anyway. Their whole shtick is that they can equip every weapon but no skills. If you end up mastering every class, they become the best class statistically, and basically just run around, you know, one-shotting everything while being more or less immune to things. But either way, that's kind of dumb. So, yeah, as you may potentially pick up here, I've been kind of quietly working on a on a level 1 Onion Knight only run. It's not really level 1. Basically, the way that this team was set up is that 2 of them are almost 30, because that previous loop takes somewhere in the ballpark of about 280 rounds in order to be able to fully achieve this, by the way. It's certainly not a fast process by any means. But yeah, even when they're in their upgraded form here, they've still basically got almost nothing going for them. They get 1 extra speed for all those extra levels, and that's really about it. They get nothing. Like, in all possible ways, they completely suck. They're entirely reliant on equipment, and especially early on in the game, that does not mean very much. And also, a bit of a fun fact, even if you only use your 2 generics to level stuff up, the AI will still come fully ready for you. This was the very first random fight that this run ran into here. So, yeah, you basically are stuck in a position where you've got no health, no skills, no nothing. So this is a very complicated way to softlock yourself in a kind of cruel manner. But anyway, so if this is your kind of suffering, then there you go. This is totally an option. But yeah, definitely wouldn't recommend it. Anyway, have fun with that. See ya. Bye.